Hello everyone, welcome to Bella's Crochet Gifts. I'm Bella. All right, so today is my dyeing adventure number 14. I did try some new things this time and I'm excited to share them with you. So first off, I used a new technique that I'd never done before, and this was called low immersion dyeing. And in case you're wondering why I'm wearing gloves, almost everything I dyed was wool or animal fibers. So first off, I did some fiber. This was, I got some tags. The first one I did was called Gloss Roving. This was all from Knit Picks. It is 70% merino wool, 30% Tulsa silk top. It is 100 grams, hand wash, lay flat to dry. It was made in Peru. That's all I got. Okay, so that was the first ones I dyed. Here is the pan that I did. So it is a catering pan that you can get off like Amazon or something, and you fill it up with your, in this case, roving or your yarn or your wool, and fill it up with a little bit of water, and then you use the squeeze bottles to put the color where you wanted. So for this one, I did 2 roving it was the fiber and then I braided them separately or secondly. So this is the first one. So this is the roving. It is going to be spun into yarn when I send it to my friend. So there's the first one. So this had eggplant, then in the middle it was purple, and this is all Rit dye, and then the bottom was, I believe, deep green or deep olive. So this is how it turned out. And here's the second one. So these were done at the same time. There we go. I'm pretty happy with it. So there was the first 2, and that was in the pan. And then, while I was doing that, I had my, let's put it there. I had my crock pot, and I poured in some of the eggplant color, and I dyed this one. I used way too much dye on this one. It took forever to even make the water a lot less pigmented. It took forever, but the color is so rich and dark. I love it. So I'm pretty excited about that. But oh my goodness, so much rinsing. And I was so worried I was going to felt it because, you know, once you agitate wool too much, it'll start to stick to itself, even if it's superwash. So I think that turned out beautiful. So those were the 3 I had that were roving. And then I had two sets of the Alpaca Cloud Fingering. This is Archibald Heather. It's 200 yards, 50 grams. It is a super fine #1, hand wash, lay flat to dry. Has the Okotex standard 100, made in Peru, and calls for a B to E crochet hook and a 1 to 3 knitting needles. So there we go. And I did two different colorways. So I did colors together in a pan. So here's the first one. This is the alpaca, and I did the alpaca and then I did some superwash at the same time to see how the colors different turned out differently. There we go. So there we go. I'm not great at hanking with gloves on, so I'm not gonna unhank it just because it was such a pain to get them hanked up to begin with. But that's the color, and this was the deep green. This was chocolate brown, and the orange is called tangerine, I believe. And I got a little eyedropper from the craft store, or maybe a pipette, something like that, where you suck up the dye. So I think I did 4 pipette squeezes into the bottle that I mixed with water. So that's where we're at with that one. This one is and these are all RIT dye. This was the RIT dye in the color teal. Then we had charcoal, and this is the pearl gray that I used, I believe, on that coconut cake the last time I did it. So this wasn't as saturated as I was hoping for. Like, it just didn't turn out as well. I'm debating whether just over dyeing it with darker, richer colors to see if it will look better. But that is the second set of alpacas I have. Okay, and then we moved into superwash, and it turned out really, really good. Ta-da! Okay, so these were dyed in the same pan. So there's the pan. So you can tell one is a lot brighter, more vivid than the other. So this is the same. This is the tangerine, the dark green. Oh, look at that green. And the brown. They turned out so very gorgeous. There's that one. There's this one. And this is my first time doing the immersion dyeing, so I am pretty happy with it. Woo. And I also, as a control group, did a mini to go with each of these colorways. So there's my, this is 100% bamboo. So it didn't take the color as well as I was hoping, but I still think it looks really cool. So there we go. I'll put that one to the side. So that was, this is the superwash wool, and I will tell you about it. Here we go. This is the Hawthorne DK weight. It is 100 grams, 225 yards, made in Peru. DK, yeah, it's a 3-weight. It is 80% fine superwash Highland wool and 20% polyamide. It is machine washable, tumble dry low. I probably wouldn't do that myself, just because you never know, especially with hand dyed. Like, these did run clear, but you never know. It calls for a 5.5 millimeter needles and an eye hook, so 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. Excuse me. A little bit of fiber in the air. Okay, and then the corresponding one from this are these. Look at that. This one is so much more vivid, bright, gorgeous. And here's the pan. So, I mean, very bright, very pretty. I did, like, I did the bottle and it wasn't, excuse me, it wasn't spreading out like the orange ones did. So I ended up just pouring some over top of straight dye. And that's what gave it this really dark bits, like dark spots, like in here. And like when I sprayed it, it kind of settled right away. And so that's why I ended up pouring dye right on top. And then, like, just, I mean, it turned out really cool. I was very excited. And here's the second one. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Here we go. Oh, I love this color. Woo, pretty. And then the mini that went with that one is this little guy. So dark gray, medium gray, and the teal. It's very, very, very light compared to the richness of the wool. So there's that one. Okay. And then when I was doing the burgundy, or I'm sorry, it was eggplant. The eggplant fiber, I stuck in, so this is the mini. This is 100% bamboo that I stuck in the pot with that one. And that's the color it turned out. Pretty happy with the color, actually. It's very, like, it's very saturated, and like it just turned out really, really nice. I love the color. Actually, it's even a little bit tonal. Can you guys see that? Anyways, very happy with that. I'm so sorry. There is fiber in the air. I also put in some mulberry silk, and this is not the color I thought it was going to be, but oh my goodness, it is pretty. It turned very, very berry. Oh. Look at that. I love this. I'm like right in there. That must have been where the tie was, because it was almost like a resist section. Like, it's just so cool. So that's how that one turned out. I'm happy with it. I was like, whoa, that's not the color I thought it was going to be, because like I said, I used eggplant, and I'd used it before and it became much darker. So I was very surprised when this turned out so berry colored, but I like it, so yay. All right. Oh, and here's the mini from the first pan dye I did. So this was the eggplant, the purple, and the dark green. So those were the colors I was hoping for. And like, it's funny because this looks like a lot more pink in the camera, but it's clearly a purple, like when I'm looking at it, like it's clearly purple, but It's kind of funny how color balance works with cameras sometimes. Okay, this last one is for a very special friend of mine. Her birthday is coming up. So Jude, if you want to be surprised, you need to look away now. But everyone else, let's see Jude's yarn. Okay. So my friend Jude loves her, what's she call them? Blurples? Her blue purples. So I dyed her some blurple yarn. So this is the superwash wool again. And this was in the crock pot. We got some nice tonals in the yarn itself. I'm so happy with it. It's so very pretty. And here's the other one. Hi, baby. Oh, look how dark that is. I love that. Hi, baby. Do you need to come say hi? No? Okay. And then here are the two minis I threw in. So I threw in this one first. Oops. I guess it's coming undone. So I threw in that one first. So it got a little darker. And then this one I threw in second. So you can kind of see the color difference. So those are the two minis that I was testing for how it was going to take with the RIT dye. I am extremely happy with all of the different colors that came this time. Because these are superwash, they are all going to be going to friends of mine, and because obviously I can't use them, I'm keeping all the minis. Those are for me. Those are experiments, and will probably potentially end up in an advent or two. We'll have to see. But I am really excited that the pan dyeing turned out so well. I might actually get a second one so that I can do 4 hanks at once instead of just 2 hanks. They seem to fit fairly well in the pan itself. I'm not sure. I might try and do cotton in the pan. I did quite a bit of research with Chemknits, Rebecca from Chemknits. She is a wealth of information about dyeing. She's tried it all. Let's put it that way. But I'm thinking about trying to do pan dyeing potentially with cotton, and doing maybe doing speckles with it. That could be interesting. I'm not sure, but I'm super excited with how everything turned out, and guess I'll see you next time for the next dyeing adventure. Hopefully I'll come up with something else that's really neat. All right, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day or night or whatever it is. I hope it's wonderful.